Welcome to the Expansive Astrology podcast, where we look at using astrology beyond the tropes and horoscopes to tune into the natural forces around us and within us, honoring our true nature to craft our future. I'm your host, Melissa, the Self-Care Witch, and I'm here to help you meet your magic. Without further ado, let's begin this week's episode with a tarot reading for the collective. Hi! Oh my gosh! Welcome back! Welcome back to you and to me. This is very exciting. It's my first time sitting here in front of a microphone since I had my baby. And I am in my new office. And everything has changed. And also so much is the same. You know, this feels amazing. I am so stoked to be sitting here doing this crazy thing. And I get to share with you what's been going on. And of course, I want to welcome in Sagittarius season with you today. So, first things first. Let's start with a tarot reading for the collective, for all of us listening for Sagittarius season. What do we need to know? And before I share this with you, I always want to name my lineage. It's so important, and I want more eyes and ears turned her way. Most of my interpretations are based in Soul Tarot by Lindsay Mack. Thank goodness for her. So for Sagittarius, what the tarot wants us to know, our overall card for the season is the Seven of Swords. This is one of my favorite cards, and it's one of the most, it's a really frustrating card. It's a really difficult one. And it's a great card to have during Sagittarius season. Sagittarius energy is that of the dreamer, the explorer, the archer. It is fearless. It's fearless in its pursuit of expansion, in its pursuit of what is next. It's fearless in its pursuit of growth and more and knowledge and exploring this universe, this earth, this lifetime holds so much potential and so much opportunity, and Sagittarius is deeply touched in with that. And it's the gift that Sagittarius brings is that endless pursuit of greatness, endless pursuit of what is more, you know. There's this gift of like always being able to see the potential and hold the potential. It's really beautiful. And in the Seven of Swords, what we're reminded is that we're complete already, right? It's like, that's great and all. That's great and all. The pursuit of more and potential and exploring and, you know, trying to grow and expand. That's great. That's wonderful. It's good to dream and all. But in the Seven of Swords, we're reminded, like, turn your head with where you already are. It's like a reclamation of your brain power. It's a reclamation of your thoughts to be with where you already are. And knowing that that is the only thing. It's the most important thing. It's the only thing. And like, I love this juxtaposition because that potential is always there. The dreaming, the growth, the expansion, the seeking for more and better. Potential is always there. That does exist. And all that is real right now, all that truly matters right now is what is in your hands right now. And where are you going right now? But not even that. Not even like, where are you going right now? But more so like, where do you stand right now? I've had several experiences where I've learned this intimately. I'm a projector in human design, which I hardly know anything about, but it's kind of what I attribute this like attribute. I attribute the attribute. I have this trait about me that I attribute to being a projector in human design. I like have endless fucking ideas. And that sounds, it almost sounds like a generator or manifesting generator. So I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to human design. I have no idea, but I was once told it's because I'm a projector. I have endless fucking ideas, endless business ideas. I think everybody should quit their job and start a business, and I can dream up how they could do that. It's like probably my toxic trait, like my toxic trait is that I just tell everybody to quit their job. Like, that's not good. But if you ever need somebody to tell you, like, yes, go ahead and quit your job, you know who to call. I'll help you permission that for yourself. Anyway, I am really good at the seeing potential in things, right? And like dreaming up more, whatever more could be, and like holding that like higher vision for you and for me and for us, for my clients, you know what I mean? And I had this like very poignant session with my mentor where I was really acknowledging like that I was in such a state of longing, like that dreaming was turning into longing, and I was no longer present with the reality of where I was and how blessed I was, and what I could actually focus my brain power on. Instead, I was like so stuck in this longing for more and like stuck in the idea of what could be or what should be, if only, if only, if only. I was so caught up in the longing that I was missing the right now. It's very cliche, but it's very human. And it's the Seven of Swords. It's anything that we are externalizing and like waiting for that is like out of our power or out of our hands. We're asked to do what we can to kind of shake that, turn our thoughts back toward where we are, what we do have, and like moving from there. It's a similar message to the Lovers, which is the Gemini card. So I always see this card as related to Gemini, which is the on the same axis as Sagittarius. So it really is fitting. It really makes sense that this card would come up for us this season. It also fits in with the upcoming Gemini full moon. That's the energy we're going to be working with, which is really beautiful to set intentions around right at the start of Sagittarius season. So what a beautiful way for the universe to lead me into a plug for my next moon circle right at the top of the show, right at the top of the episode. This Sunday's moon circle is going to be all about that full moon in Gemini, Sunday the 26th. So I'd love to have you there. And I actually do want to share more about my moon circles later in the episode. But for now, our next card, our lesson for the season, is the Seven of Pentacles. With this card, I think of patience, presence, discernment. I think of the difficult task of getting your hands out of something, like trusting the timing, not trying to control or rush or manipulate a natural unfolding of something. Again, it's another reminder of like we can only ever be where we are. That's it. We can only ever be where we are. So like that very human tendency, to, our desire to move into the next thing, rush into the next thing. That's a great, man, that's a great lesson for Sagittarius. Because Sagittarius, it's mutable fire. So like watch out, right? For mutable fire that just like moving fire. It's like scary. It's powerful. It's Knight of Wands. And in the Pamela Coleman Smith illustration of the Knight of Wands, there's a very like chaotic energy. It almost looks like the knight is out of control of their own horse. So having this very stable, steady, patient energy as our lesson, it makes sense. Makes sense. Just not saying one is like better than the other. Not saying that like mutable fire is bad, right? And like fixed earth is good somehow. It's not like that. But as a lesson, I feel like this is just asking us to be observant, use discernment, be wise. And it's about like having true sovereignty over our energy. Like, are you focusing your energy on things that cannot be changed? Is there perhaps a better use of your time? The Seven of Pentacles is about embracing all stages of the process, not trying to rush anything, and also like not overdoing it or overwatering things. If you overwater your garden trying to rush its growth, you're going to kill it. You're going to drown it, you know? So knowing when to back off. Also, having that like appreciation and patience for where you are is coming up in both of these 7 cards. And it's feeling really present as I'm looking outside and the sky is completely white. I don't know if snow is coming, but it looks like it could be. You know, the trees are bare. I hear the wind outside. It's like, it's probably freezing out there. And I'm like, man, it is winter. It's winter. It's like fully winter. It's dark. It's cold. Ugh. And it's really hard to appreciate. Kind of. I mean, just being honest. Thank goodness we have things like the Nutcracker and like these beautiful holidays that we gather for. Unfortunately, the November holiday in the United States is based around colonization and genocide, and it's problematic in every way, shape, and form. And I can't bring myself to participate in it. But wow, do I digress? What I'm trying to say is that we do our best to embrace this season too, you know? And like in, you know, living in Colorado, one of the things it's known for is these like very distinct dramatic seasons. And we see it in nature. We see it in weather every single year. It's the same every single year. And still we try to rush past it. And however, we struggle through it, right? And that's maybe part of it. And then I'm also thinking of like our personal winters. I almost feel like, you know, as I'm sitting here, I'm like just like staring at the window, thinking about this, thinking about Seven of Pentacles, thinking about Sagittarius season where like there's this fire, there's this energy, this like, let's go, let's create something, let's move, let's explore, let's learn, let's expand. It's beautiful energy to like carry us through the season. I so appreciate it. And I'm also thinking about how I am coming out of my own personal winter of sorts. with my postpartum period, the 4th trimester, maternity leave, which I wanted to rush past like all the time, constantly I was trying to rush that process. And every single season or week or month I took off of the podcast, I like had the podcast on my to-do list. Like, it was not, this long of a break was not my intention. I wanted to be back. I wanted to be working. I was rushing my winter. But yet winter persists, and I could have probably tried to force it, but it would have sucked for everybody. It would have not been great. And I couldn't rush the process. And I took a season off, quite a long season, and now here we are, and I feel more ready than ever, as you can tell by all of these tangents that I've taken just talking about the lesson card. So you can see how 7 of Pentacles shows up in many, many ways, right? I can go on several tangents about what it means to embrace this energy. I'd love to hear how this shows up for you. Kind of keeping this in mind as a lesson for the season in your own little world. And if you do have any very 7 of Pentacles coded moments or lessons in the next couple of weeks, please let me know. I would love to hear about it and then share it if you want. No pressure. Finally, our anchor as the season unfolds is the 10 of Pentacles, which I have been staring at and doing that little shack gif wiggling, the wiggle gif. What do you say? GIF or GIF? I keep looking at this 10 of Pentacles as I'm speaking, knowing that this is coming as our lesson, wanting to do a little dance. Oh my God, how divine, how freaking perfect. Because as all of that is true and unfolding, our anchor, what we can return to and anchor in with and really lean on, is the 10 of Pentacles. This is the card that asks us how to tap in with our sense of abundance and fullness and flow and resourcing and richness right now, as you are. The 10s don't say, the way I read it, the way Lindsay Mack teaches, the 10s don't say riches are coming your way. It says, how are you already rich? It says, how are you receiving and honoring and tending and sharing your garden and what you have? Sharing yourself and what you have and what you know with your community, and letting your community share with you. With the Pentacles, I always think of our resources in breaking down that word resource of what returns us to your source, what returns you to your source of power, your source of intuition. Some people use the word source as a replacement for the word God. What resources you? What are your resources? And the 10 of Pentacles has us really feeling rich in that, not skimping on that, finding richness in that wherever you are. So it has nothing to do with your earthly monetary things or even what you have accessible to you. It's anchoring in with, this is an invitation to anchor in with an inner sense of richness. All three of these cards together, they're just like singing at me like, you are already full. And what a beautiful lesson. What a beautiful message for Sagittarius, where we get to hold both the potential and the dream and the longing and the sense of fullness and richness right now, right here. The sense of presence and patience right now, right here. And this tarot reading is a beautiful transition from Scorpio into Sagittarius, where Scorpio, the phrase is I desire. Scorpio truly permissions us to touch in with that sense of longing, right? That I'm kind of talking about. And we're reminded that we're full right now. Sagittarius is helping us tap in with our sense of optimism, our ability to dream of the future, our ability to dream of our potential. And the tarot is reminding us that we are full right now. Oh, what a good one. Wow. What a good one. Please let me know what resonates for you. I would really love to hear from you. It feels so good to be back. Okay. That's all I have. That's the tarot reading for Sagittarius season. Now, before we truly dive into the expansive astrology, and really welcome in Sagittarius, I do want to just maybe briefly, we'll see, probably briefly, let you know what's been going on in my world. I have a lot of very exciting things to share that I really want to tell you about. So, first of all, I had a baby. So that's cool. Her name is Millie Joy, and she's 5 months now. And I just adore her. I am so beyond filled with gratitude to be their mom. Millie and Jasper, they are, I mean, I sound like every mom ever, right? But they are incredible. They are incredible. I'm really loving this season of my life, this motherhood season of my life. It's one thing that I feel very, very confident in. The whole idea of mom shaming and mom shame never really resonates for me, because I feel so secure and confident and sure in my motherhood that even people questioning me or disagreeing or doubting or anything like that, it just doesn't faze me. It just does not matter, because I am so sure. It's it's I love it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And birthing Millie was a really beautiful, wonderful experience. Happened at home in the middle of the day, in the tub in the middle of my room. It was really beautiful and powerful. I would love to share more about it. I would love to share the whole story, actually. Maybe in an episode, if that is, I don't know. Is that something that I should use this podcast for? Is stories like that? Or should I stick very much to the curriculum, if you will? Should I just stick to expansive astrology? I am curious to hear from you. And even as I ask that question, I feel like maybe I'll insert right here that I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just constantly doing the next best thing. And so I am interested to hear from you. Would you like episodes about personal stories like my birth story, and other things like that? Or do you come here specifically for the expansive astrology? Would you like a little bit of both? Should I just do separate episodes where like you can opt out of the birth story episode, but come back for the Sagittarius episode? I am interested to hear from you. And also if there's one thing that, my motherhood and my work as like the self-care witch, this work that I've created for myself in the world, it's really taught me to just like, go with the flow. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying it that way. That sounds so trite and cheesy, but like that's truly what it is. It's like at every turn, I'm just doing the next best thing. I'm asking my guides and my higher self and my source, like, what should this be? What would the next best move is? And why? Is this based in my ego? Or is this actually based in like my purpose and higher calling and being helpful? Is it a little bit of both? Because it can be a little bit of both. But yeah, I don't know. All of that to say, like, thank you for being along for the ride, I guess. My work is very much evolving and expanding and growing. My pregnancy with Millie truly it started way before I ever became a mother. But then this like calling to be a birth worker or a doula or just a birth worker of some kind, I've always been drawn to it. And then my like pregnancy and birth with Jasper kind of started to get me thinking. You know, I met a doula in real life and had a wonderful experience with her. And I was like, that would be cool. And then my pregnancy with Millie, which had complications and was very scary and really reminded me and like reinforced my deeply held belief that like everyone needs a doula. Doulas are essential. Everyone deserves a doula. And I really needed my doula during my pregnancy with Millie. And it became just very, very clear, the path like just like carved itself for me to take this 12-week doula training. I am now officially a certified full spectrum doula. And I get to explore what that looks like in my world, how I bring that to my community and my work. It doesn't change anything about my coaching, my tarot therapy sessions, aside from the fact that my clients now know that their session could be rescheduled at any time if I am called to a birth. So that is very exciting and incredible and very new. And also, my clients now know that their session could be rescheduled at any time if I am called to a birth. So that is very exciting and incredible and very new. And also, I just started a healing circle facilitator training that I am deeply excited for. I have been hosting moon circles for about 1.5 years now, and almost every single time I leave saying, I wish I could bring more to this. Like, this needs to be more. I want more. It's that like dreaming and that longing. And I wasn't sure like what that would look like. I see other healing circles or moon circles that happen in my community and the circles that I attend, and I never wanted to like duplicate or attempt to replicate those. And you know, nothing was, I knew it needed to be more, and I wasn't sure how or what. And it was like torturing me in a way. And as all things do, it fell into my lap. This woman wellness circle facilitator training, where I am learning very rich, juicy, deep, somatic nervous system healing, juicy practices and different things that I can apply. We're just getting started in this 12-week training, and already, like, we are just barely getting started, and already I've been able to like enrich and enhance and deepen my moon circles. So if you've been to a moon circle in the past, I would love to have you back to see what is changing. And also, if you've never been to one of my moon circles, now is the time to join in. I would so love to have you. Anyway, there's been a lot going on over here. Not only all of that, but also the self-care witch is full time now. I am literally the luckiest girl in the world, and I get to like live my dream and build my dream, and I get to do it full time, and I am fully supported by my husband behind the scenes in the background. And that is beautiful and wonderful, and also very, very scary, totally terrifying. I'm the main breadwinner in my family right now. So your support means more to me than ever. I feel so lucky and grateful that I get to work in the way that I get to work. And it takes a lot of bravery and trust and surrender, and it's possible because of you, because you trust me and you support me, and you do me the honor of letting me support you, you know. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What a wild life. But let's move into expansive astrology. I want to welcome in Sagittarius energy. I want to tell you how I recommend you invite it in, and kind of work with this and utilize these ideas over the next couple of weeks. I really love Sagittarius. I've grown to love it. It really is such a gift. I was raised by a Sagittarius, and then I birthed a Sagittarius. So I certainly appreciate this energy. Unlike Scorpio, we're exiting Scorpio season, where Scorpio is, I mentioned before, it's about desire, and it's a fixed energy, so it tends to be rather attached and stubborn. Unlike Scorpio, Sagittarius resents attachment. Like, attachment is not even a thing this season. Visionary, optimistic, and expansive, Sagittarius symbolizes the search for wisdom. This season, we're aiming our arrows toward the sky, unafraid to expand and dream. We're embracing our ability to turn an idea into action. We're looking at how we bring our knowing, our dreaming forward and out into the world. Sagittarius is mutable fire. It's the final fire sign of the year, and follows Aries and Leo. And I like looking at how those build on each other as the year unfolds. Aries, the phrase is I am, and it's all about like the self and your sense of identity, and learning how to take up space and use your voice in an empowered and effective way. Leo, the phrase is I will, and it's about like creativity and further permissioning yourself to like be seen and shine and like take up space and like, having the courage to be seen as you are in a very undefended way. And those two signs set us up for the work of Sagittarius, which is about like full expansion, right? Like full expansion into your possibility, your potential. I'm just thinking of how essential that like sense of identity and like that sense of permission to be yourself in that identity in the world and be seen in that, like that is also essential for the exploration that Sagittarius encourages. So as the season unfolds, I want you to consider some of the following traits and watch out for these things in yourself. Some of these expressions of Sagittarius energy, some of these tendencies. And the work always is when we catch ourselves in a disempowered place to do the work to shift that into an empowered place. So Sagittarius, disempowered Sagittarius, tends to be impatient, idealistic, thoughtless, undisciplined, reckless, restless, flighty, uncommitted, undiscriminating, overburdened, unable or unwilling to say no, trouble with using discernment, trouble with sitting still, mutable fire. It can be a superpower as long as you're intentional with it, right? And I think all of these things, all of these disempowered traits kind of represent their disempowered fire, you know? So when you catch yourself in these places, return to your anchor. First of all, 10 of Pentacles, chef's kiss. Second of all, the empowered expression of Sagittarius energy is like that dreamer, that visionary, that adventurous, idealistic, courageous, open-hearted, ambitious, optimistic, willing to say yes, making the impossible seem possible. That's the empowered gift of Sagittarius. And I'm again just like chuckling at and thankful for the tarot spread that came up for us, because it really like perfectly set me up for this whole episode. The challenge of Sagittarius energy, the challenge that Sagittarius can bring is this like limitless craving, this like having way too many ideas at once, this like overindulgence, this inability to commit. Like that can be harmful, right? And I always say this in my work, it's not a problem unless it's a problem. Like it's okay. It's okay unless it's not, right? Unless it's causing harm to yourself or others somehow, unless it's like keeping you from some sort of healing or goodness or expansion. It can be really protective and ego-based, which is why it's all divine. And Leo sets us up for this. Leo in the Strength card teaches us to be undefended, teaches us to be vulnerable, teaches us to be kind of surrendered. So like kind of like it's almost like this protective factor, helping protect us from that tendency to avoid depth and roots and attachment. Sagittarius has a tendency to avoid those things. We've learned how to manage our ego. We've learned how to protect ourselves and also have attachment and desires. Like living a very no strings attached type of lifestyle can be very it can be positive. And some people really idolize that, right? There's a song by Alice Merton called No Roots that feels very Sagittarius to me. She says, I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. That feels very Sagittarius. Like having no roots, having no attachments, having no strings attached sometimes is idolized in a way, and it can be really positive, and also it can be ironically limiting. Sometimes having those roots and those anchors and those attachments actually provide us with more freedom, more space to expand, more safety, all in all, I feel like I keep hitting the mic. I'm such an amateur. All in all, I feel like I'm a little bit all over the place right now. And the thread that ties it all together with Sagittarius energy is learning to be living in connection with the soul rather than the ego. Learning to be a co-creator with spirit. Learning to be very authentic, learning to use your energy in a very authentic and full way. Seeing all of the gifts and all of the potential, and having the wisdom and the courage and the bravery to use our fire to lean toward that and reach toward that. Having the courage to be optimistic. And optimism sometimes gets a bad rep in our culture. It's conflated with naivety. Naivety. That wasn't it. And it's not. It's not. Optimism is very brave. It's very courageous. It's very hopeful. Optimism is the philosophy that this world is the best of all possible worlds. And I know that can seem really dire at times. With everything that's fucking happening, this is the best fucking world of all possible worlds. And it's not about trying to be positive about very awful, horrible, horrendous, unimaginable circumstances. It's not about denial or ignorance, but optimism. Instead, it's the fundamental belief that things will one day get better. That where there is darkness, there is also light. And that we are always doing the best we can. And we are always being supported. And we always have the choice, each one of us individually, at all times, we have the choice to move into love, to act from love and community and effectiveness. And it's hard because not everybody does that. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of very powerful, important people don't do that. And it's still good news, right? That we get to choose how we operate. We get to choose, each of us. And we can always make a new choice. There have been a couple really powerful instances in my own life, in my own world, where I've been right in the middle seriously, completely in the middle of a fight, an argument, a very disempowered place, just like living based on an old script, my old programming, super fucking stuck in the ego, totally defensive. And I've had these very powerful experiences where I notice that. And I notice that it's an option, that I am making a choice, and that I can make the grueling decision to put that fucking ego down, the defensiveness down, and shift into something different, making a different choice, even in the middle of it. And sometimes it does feel like a grueling decision, right? To be like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of this fight. And I don't need to be. And I get to decide to stop it. But in order to do that, I have to admit that I'm wrong? Hell no. It's always a choice. It's always an option. And that's the good news, right? So back to optimism. We get to play with this during Sagittarius season, and it's a philosophy. It's like really, they call it a life orientation. Some of us just naturally lean more toward optimism, and some of us really don't. So if this absolutely doesn't resonate with you, I respect that very much. And maybe we can talk about it more later this season, because there's a lot to explore here, and there's a lot to be said about finding hope and optimism. But for now, I do think I'm going to leave it here. And I want to invite you, like everywhere you can, build your life around things that spark joy. Everywhere you can. See if you can infuse joy and optimism and hope in your world. And actually, that reminds me of this little excerpt from this book that I've had for ages called What Would Buddha Do? Which is a good little book for a quick pick-me-up or some hopefulness, some optimism, some guidance. And this one passage says, what would Buddha do to change the world? And it says, smoothing out the earth with leather sheets cannot be done for lack of so much hide. Just put a bit of leather on your feet, and it's like you've covered the entire world. It feels so powerful and important and relevant when we're talking about this, because it's really hard to have this hope and touch in with this optimism and remember the sanctity and influence of you, yes, you, just you, in your little living room with your little partner and your little arguments about the socks or the laundry or the trash or the cat box, it matters that you make the choice to shift into optimism or to shift into hope or to shift into love or, empowerment, effectiveness, kindness. Even in your living room, talking about your laundry, even though there's war happening across the globe and poverty and illness happening not across the globe, across the street, right? Or maybe even within your own home. It's dire out there, fam. I just honor that, And I don't want to get stuck there. There's also more. There's more to the story. And it starts in my hands. It starts where my feet are. It starts with how I tend myself what I put on the bottom of my feet so that I can carry my kids through this world, you know? Oof. It's important. And it's a challenge. So good luck. Good luck. I don't know when I'll see you again. You know, I don't know if I'll be able to schedule this in weekly. I want to at least have one episode every season. We'll see. We'll see what the flow tells me to do. In the meantime, you can catch me on Instagram. I will be doing December tarot readings soon because it's almost December. And my schedule is very flexible and very wide open now. Now that I get to be the self-care witch full time and I kind of have that support behind me. So you can pop onto my website and take a look at my calendar. You can empower yourself to pay my full rate or my reduced rate. I'm kind of experimenting with calling my sessions tarot therapy, but I'm finding that's actually kind of confusing. But that's kind of just like the catch-all phrase for my hour-long mentorship sessions. I shuffle a deck the whole time we're talking and see what kind of comes up. And it's just right there for you to make your own decision whether you can afford my like full rate or whether you would like to take advantage of, take advantage of, but not even in like any sort of judgmental or negative way. Like, please take advantage of my reduced rate. It's there for you to just use if you need it. That's all for now, but I'm working on a lot behind the scenes that is really sparkly and shiny and exciting and juicy. And, I just can't thank you enough for being here and trusting me. And I love ya. I will see you when I see you, but I hope I see you soon. And until I see you, take care. Bye. Now, before you go, let me keep your ear for just a moment. This week's episode is brought to you by www.theselfcarewitch.com, my bread and butter, where you can find more information on my current courses, offerings, and other fun ways to connect with myself and yourself. If you enjoyed this episode and you dig what I'm doing here, please subscribe to the podcast, rate it, and leave a review. It helps so much. And if you'd like to connect with me, head to theselfcarewitch.com. I'd truly love to hear from you. Until next time, take care.